खुदा ही ये जाने खुद से क्यों आए मुस्कुराहटे पहने हुए आँखों से पर सच ना छुपा चल अब जरा हो बेनकाब खुद से न हो तू बेवफा
Hello, welcome to the stream. Today, we are trying the new setup. Yesterday, I tried reading this book, and yesterday was the first time I tried reading a novel on stream. And I got a couple of. Hello, Taito. Hello, Kahuna. Welcome to the stream. Let me first say I got a couple of suggestions कि अगर मैं साथ में text रखूँ या book रखूँ so that people can read along in case I read very fast or they miss out or something like that. So today I came up with a new setup where I will be reading the book on the book stand, which you can clearly see, and then I have this cute companion. And you guys can read along if you need reading. So this is the new setup. Do let me know if you guys like it or not. Also, is the chat not coming up? Can someone type something in the chat? Is the chat not coming up on the right side? The setup is cute and looking good. Okay, the chat is coming up. हाय शीरी, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम. मैंने आज बोला था कि मैं जल्दी करूँगी स्ट्रीम, बट आई वॉज सेटिंग दिस अप एज यू कैन सी एंड आई स्पेंट 2 hours, I think 2.5 hours in setting all of this up. Let me pause this for a while. Oh wait, I can't. Let me just take it up. Or the rain ASMR is fine in the background. Let me know if you like the ASMR also. थोड़ी मेहनत की ये ढूंढूं. Which novel you know? Which novel? And such a cute cat. Thank you, Daito. This is exactly how Twinkie looks while sleeping. Just saying. Hi Taito, hi Priti Kahuna. Oh my god, you guys already flirting. The setup is cute and looking good. Thank you. But we can't exactly see the words in the book. Yeah, that was one concern. Are you on phone or on PC? That is one thing that I need to know. Wait, who is Twinkie? Aapka cat? Yes, my cat. You are on laptop, then how are you not able to see? क्योंकि आई केप्ट इट प्रिटी बिग इनफ कि पढ़ पाए ऐसा. इज इट ब्लरी? व्हाट इज द इश्यू? एक्चुअली ये समझ चलने तो अच्छा वाइब आ रहा है, चलने दे रही हूँ. हाय आयरन मेटन, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम. It's a tad bit blurry. If you can like thodu sa zoom. Mm, so I had hi Arnav, welcome to the stream. I had is this better? Oopsies. Is this better? Can you read? That is my only concern, literally. You can read now? Okay, then I guess this is what the setup is going to be. Hi Arnav, welcome to the stream. What is this? This is another novel reading session where you guys, I can read when I am full screen. I guess that is what I'm going for here. Otherwise, I will not have my companion if I want to zoom in more. Very, very cute setup. Hi, Rage, welcome to the stream. What is this reading ceremony? I am trying to read a novel, and you guys can read along. The Let me give some shout outs. All of you are streamers here. So nice to see. Is Twitch better than YouTube, Daito? Can you not read the book on YouTube? Yes, Twitch is better. Oh, I can read it at both places. हाँ, बस वही डर था मुझे कि कहीं कोई एक जगह पर क्वालिटी खराब ना आ जाए. Which is just better. दीदी मेरे कोर्स की किताबें खत्म नहीं हो रही और आप ये पढ़ा रहे हो. मैं पढ़ा नहीं रही हूँ अर्नव. आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू रीड द नॉवल. मोर लाइक एन ऑडियो बुक, यू नो. नहीं, इट इज गुड एट बोथ प्लेसेस. थैंक यू फॉर कंफर्मिंग दैट. अर्नव, आप क्या स्टडी करते हो? कैन यू सी दिस क्यूट कैंडल? Also, this is, I have more of these. I'll show you guys. This is just an LED candle. What the hell? This is just an LED candle, and it's all plastic. And this thing, wow, this thing keeps on moving. So fan की वजह से this is moving, and it gives the effect of a real candle. Nice. So cute, no? ओ बाय द वे स्नो जी, मैं ना आपको डीसी पे मैसेज करूंगा बाद में. मेरे ब्रदर इज गोना कम टू होम अक्टूबर में, सो मैं उसको लेने आऊंगा. ओ याद आए तो आप बोल रहे थे. ओके ओके दायतो आप नवरात्रि पर भी आ जाओ ना, थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा. BSc CS, हाँ वो तो पता था मुझे. मैं दायतो ट्रांसलेशन प्लीज. दायतो कहूँ ना, दायतो is going to come to my city to pick up his brother because his brother would be traveling from his college to my city because airport. And Daito will come to pick his brother up, so he'll text me at that time if I want to meet him up like that. So hopefully we can plan something. Yes, definitely. Thumbs up. I can now give you thumbs up. Yes. Okay. So there's this one thing which you guys don't know is कि मैंने ये कैमरा फ्लिप करके रखा है. So I get so confused. I have to flip this camera because this camera is at the top of the monitor. और बुक उल्टी पड़ती अगर मैं फ्लिप नहीं करती तो. एंड अगर आपको सीधी दिखानी है तो आई वुड नॉट बी एबल टू रीड. सो आई हैड टू फ्लिप द कैमरा सो दैट आप लोगों को भी सीधी दिखे और मुझे भी सीधी रहे ऐसा. सो इट्स सो कंफ्यूजिंग थोड़ा थोड़ा व्हेन आई एम लाइक थम्स अप. बीट हिम अप फॉर मी. कहो ना डन. हम छोटे बच्चों के लिए बुक रीडिंग. यस यस आयरन मेडल. ओके. I shall start with where we left off yesterday. हमने 3 चैप्टर पढ़े थे कल. That is confusing. It is confusing for me, Daito. What do you mean done, Snowji? See, Daito, I don't know how huge you are. Okay, I might need to bring Wish to beat you up. I am a tiny lady. I'm a fat but tiny lady. I am now asleep. इतनी जल्दी? Is it because of the ASMR? ये किस लाइन में आ गए हैं आप? हेलो विशाल जी, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम. आई एम अ फैट टाइनी गाय. ओके दाई, तो फिर तो बराबर का मुकाबला होगा. Anyways, welcome to the stream विशाल जी. I don't think you know मैंने कल भी बुक रीडिंग की स्ट्रीम की थी. So I was let me reiterate through it. I was going through midlife crisis because I wanted to game, I wanted to stream, I wanted to read books, I wanted to do everything, but I don't just fucking have time. Okay, तो मैंने सोचा क्या करे भाई. मेरे पास टाइम ही नहीं है. मेरे को बुक पढ़नी है कब से, मेरे को स्ट्रीम करना है, सब छूट रहा है. तो मैंने सोचा लेट्स कंबाइन बोथ. लेट मी स्ट्रीम while I'm reading the novel. So today I have a book camp for you. So there's that. W content. अब नींद जल्दी आएगी. देखा था आपने? ओके विशाल जी. चलो हैव गुड स्ट्रीम स्नोजी. आई विल बी लुकिंग. ओके दाइतो, थैंक यू फॉर द लर्क. Bonk, you ain't having a midlife crisis for another 40 years? No, Kahona. I think this is my midlife crisis. This is the mid of my life, that's why. The way I'm going, I don't think I am surviving more than 50 years. Okay, coming back to our book reading session. कल हमने 3 चैप्टर्स पढ़े थे. This is the Palace of Illusions. It is Mahabharat from Draupadi's point of view. An author has attempted that कि अगर द्रौपदी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से महाभारत होती तो कैसी होती. एंड हेलो तेते, वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम. हेलो हेलो, हाउ आर यू? आई एम गुड. आ ही गए हो तो आप भी सुन लो. This is the Palace of Illusions is द्रौपदी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से महाभारत अगर होती तो कैसी होती. ऐसा कल हमने 3 चैप्टर पढ़े. पहले चैप्टर में द्रौपदी के नेम पर था, वेयर शी वाज लाइक आई डिड नॉट लाइक बेसिकली द फायर जिसमें से निकले थे वो लोग. द बर्थ उसकी स्टोरी बता रहे थे, रीइटरेट कर रहे थे. सेकेंड चैप्टर में इट वॉज ब्लू. इट वॉज for Draupadi's and Krishna's friendship. Very beautiful it was. It was described very beautifully. Also, a lesser known fact that Draupadi's birth name is Krishna, actually. The female version of Krishna. And the third chapter was Milk. Milk was basically the story of why Draupadi and Drishtadyumna का जो फायर से जन्म हुआ था वो यज्ञ क्यों किया गया था. तो उसकी स्टोरी थी कि द्रुपद और महाराज द्रुपद और गुरु द्रोण के बीच में क्या हुआ था जिसकी वजह से ये इन दोनों को जन्म लेना पड़ा बेसिकली. So let me read chat before I start reading. Survive pretty long life. I don't think I want to live that longer now, to be very honest. मिड ऑफ लाइफ मतलब 50 के हो आप नहीं, मिड ऑफ लाइफ मतलब 25 की हूँ मैं, ऐसा मैं 24 की हूँ, 25 की हो जाऊंगी जल्दी. What novel are you reading? I'm reading The Palace of Illusions. मैंने पिन मैसेज में भी लिखा है. Insane concept. What I am doing or the book itself? Which is the insane concept? Interesting. अब मजा आएगा ना बेटा. Bonk, you ain't having midlife crisis for another 40 years. I think I already read that. No, you will suffer with wish till y'all are old and wrinkly. I think we both will be old and wrinkly when we are around 50. I'm pretty sure. हम ना स्किन केयर कर रहे हैं, ना जिम जा रहे हैं, ना खाने पीने का ध्यान रख रहे हैं. We are just living life. Very personality less, to be honest. Okay. अभी I might not read chats ऐसे 5-10 मिनट के लिए, शायद 15 मिनट के लिए मैं शायद पूरा चैप्टर कंप्लीट कर लूँ, फिर चैट रीड करूँ. सो प्लीज बी पेशेंट विथ मी, प्लीज. थैंक यू. अच्छा, डाइविंग इनटू द बुक अगेन. चैप्टर 4, cosmetology. What is the form of the world? The prince recited. Above are the heavens, abode of Indra, and the gods who sit around his throne. There. जस्ट पढ़ना शुरू किया था सैलेड, शर्म आ रही है. वेलकम टू द स्ट्रीम, थैंक यू फॉर हाइड्रेट. आई थिंक मुझे हाइड्रेट का अभी कूल डाउन आधे घंटे का कर देना चाहिए ताकि रीडिंग के बीच में परेशान ना करो. कैसे आप Who is old and wrinkly? I don't think we are yet. We will be soon, Salad. Me and Vish. Okay. The prince recited, above are the heavens, abode of Indra, and the gods who sit around his throne. There, in the center of 7 worlds, peopled by celestial beings, lies the milky ocean on which Vishnu sleeps, waking only when the earth grows overburdened with unrighteousness. Adharm. Unrighteousness is adharm. Below it stretches our earth, which would tumble into the great void if it were not supported upon the hoods of Shesha, the 1,000-headed serpent. Further below is the underworld, where the demons who hate the light of the sun have their kingdom. The tutor asked, what is the origin of the 4 castes? When the Supreme Being manifested himself, the Brahmin was born from his head, the Kshatriya from his arm, the Vaishya from his thigh, and the Shudra from his foot. What therefore is the duty of Kshatriya? The warrior king must honor men of wisdom, treat other kings with respect due to equals, and rule his people with a firm yet merciful hand. In war, he should be fierce and fearless until death. For the warrior who dies on the battlefield goes to the highest of heavens. He must protect anyone who seeks refuge with him, be generous to the needy, and keep his given word, though it lead to his destruction. And my brother faltered, forcing me to offer assistance from behind the curtain. Forefathers, I hissed, vengeance! And most of all, Dri took a breath and continued. He must bring renown to his forefathers by avenging the honor of his family. Through the gauze of the curtain, I could see the tutor frown. The holy thread that hung across his bony chest quivered with agitation. Though he was alarmingly learned, he wasn't much older than us. The curtain was there because otherwise my presence flustered him so much that he was quite unable to teach. Oh, great prince, he said now. Kindly ask your sister princess to refrain from prompting you. She's not helping you to learn. Will she be sitting behind you in your chariot in battle when you need to remember these important precepts? Perhaps it is best if she no longer joins us during the studies. He was always trying to discourage me from attending these lessons, and he wasn't the only one. At first, no matter how much I begged, King Drupad had balked at the thought of me studying with my brother. A girl being taught what a boy was supposed to learn? Such a thing had never been heard of in royal family of Panchal. Only when Krishna insisted that the prophecy at my birth required me to get an education beyond what women were usually given, and that it was the king's duty to provide this to me, did he agree with reluctance. Even Dhaima, my accomplice in so many other areas of my life, regarded the lessons with misgiving. She complained that they were making me too hard-headed and argumentative, too man-like in my speech. Dhri too sometimes wondered if I wasn't learning the wrong things, ideas that would only confuse me as I took up a woman's life with its prescribed restrictive laws. But I hungered to know about the amazing, mysterious world that extended past what I could imagine. The world of the senses and of that which lay beyond them. And so I refused to give up the lessons, no matter who disapproved. Now, not wanting to antagonize the tutor further, I made my voice contrite. Respected teacher, my apologies. I promise not to interrupt again. The tutor stared fixedly at the ground. Great prince, kindly remind your sister that last week too she promised us the same thing. Dhri hid his smile. Most learned one, please forgive her. As you know, being a girl, she is cursed with a short memory. Additionally, she is of an impulsive nature, a failing in many females. Perhaps he could instruct her as to the conduct expected of a Kshatriya woman. The tutor shook his head. That is not my area of expertise. For it is not fitting that a celibate should think too much on the ways of women, who are the part to rule. It would be better if the princess learned such things, and others as well, from the large and daunting lady who is her nurse, and who can, one hopes, discipline her better than I. I will recommend this excellent course of action to your royal father. I was dismayed by this sudden turn in events. No doubt, my father, armed with the tutor's complaints, would try once again to dissuade me from attending the lessons. Now we'd spend a great deal of time arguing. Rather, he would rant and I would be forced to listen. Or worse, he would order me to stop and I would be forced to obey. Additionally, I resented the tutor's declaration that women were the root of all the world's troubles. Perhaps that was why, when he gathered up his palm leaf manuscripts and rose to leave, I pushed the curtain aside and gave him a brilliant smile as I bowed. The effect was better than I had hoped. He jumped as though stung. Manuscripts fell, helter-skelter, from his hands. I had to pull the end of my sari over my face to hide my laughter. Although I knew there would be trouble later. But inside a current surged through me at the discovery of a power I didn't know I had. Dhri shot me a remonstrative look as he helped the tutor pick up everything. Later he would say, "Did you have to do that?" He was being so difficult, and all those things he accused women of, you know they're not true. I'd expected my brother to agree, but instead he gave me a considering look. With a shock, I realized that he was changing. Besides, it was just a smile, I continued, but with less confidence. The problem with you is you're pretty for your own good. It will get you into trouble with men sooner or later, if you're not careful. No wonder father's been worrying about what to do with you. I was surprised. First, at the news that my father spared me any thought. And second, at my brother's compliment, backhanded though it was. Dri never commented on my looks. Nor did he encourage me to comment on his. Such useless talk, he believed, made people vain. Was this another sign of change? But I merely said, "How is it that father never worries about you? Is it because you're so ugly?" She is such a roastful. Oh my god. My brother refused to rise to the bait. "Boys are different from girls," he said with stolid patience. "When will you accept that?" Okay, let me take a small pause and read. Probably 60 or 80. I don't think I know I'm living till 60 or 80. Both. You find, Tete, you find both the concepts interesting. I see. मैम मिड 50 इसीलिए कि आपकी उम्र 100 हो जाए. भाई इतना क्यों जीना है? Something new. Yes, Vivek, indeed. Welcome to the stream, Vivek. How have you been? वापस gamble जीत गए भाई साहब. You now have 40,000 stolen cookies. Holy. Give me that teddy. This is a cat too. A cute cat too. इतना क्यों जीना है? Exactly, salad. I didn't know मेरा stream buffer हो रहा था. It's okay. Wish you sleep on ocean? No, he sleeps on. Yeah, he actually sleeps on ocean. मतलब the Lord Vishnu. मेरे को 2 मिनट देना. Let me drink water and set some other things up. थैंक यू फॉर पोस्चर चेक, क्योंकि मैं एकदम झुक के ही बैठी हूँ ये बुक पढ़ने के लिए. दिस इज नॉट एग्जैक्टली द आइडियल पोस्चर, बट इट वर्क्स. यू गाइज कैन सी द बुक एंड दैट इज व्हाट मैटर्स. एंड दिस क्यूट टेडी. आई लव दिस टेडी. You guys want to know a fun fact which I don't know if I should be telling or not. कैसा लगेगा? You know, this is a rechargeable lamp. Basically, it's a cute cat lamp. Oops, ulta. Sorry, it's a cute cat lamp. This is a rechargeable lamp, and can you guess कहाँ से recharge होता है ये? You are right, salad. You are absolutely right. It recharges from buttocks. I have a similar owl lamp, uska bhi as. Oh my god. Okay, back to reading. In revenge, the tutor shot a last comment at me from behind the safety of the door that led to the passage. Prince, I have recalled one rule of conduct which you may tell your sister. I'll go study. Look, thank you for the look, salad. A Kshatriya woman's highest purpose in life is to support warriors in her life. Her father, brother, husband, and sons. If they should be called to war, She must be happy that they have the opportunity to fulfill a heroic destiny. Instead of praying for their safe return, she must pray that they die with glory on the battlefield. And who decided that the woman's highest purpose was to support men? I burst out as soon as we were alone. A man, I would wager. Myself, I plan on doing other things with life. Dri smiled, but half-heartedly. The tutor wasn't totally wrong. When I leave for the final battle, that's what I'd like you to pray for. The word moved over me like a finger of ice. Not if, but when. With what chill acceptance my brother spoke it. He left the room before I could contradict him. I thought of the husband and sons that everyone assumed I would have someday. The husband I couldn't visualize, but the sons I imagined as miniature versions of Dri, with the same height, serious eyebrows. I promised myself I'd never pray for their deaths. I'd teach them instead to be survivors. And why was a battle necessary at all? Surely there were other ways to glory, even for men. I'd teach them to search for those. I wish I could tell this to Dri as well, but I feared it was too late. Already he had started thinking like men around him, embracing the world of court with open arms. And each day I thought less and less like the women around me. Each day I moved further from them into dusky solitude. Dri was given other lessons, though these I couldn't share. Late mornings he fought with sword and spear and mace with the commander of the Panchal army. He learned to wrestle, to ride horses and elephants, to manage a chariot in case his charioteer was killed in battle. From the Nishid, who was my father's chief hunter, he learned archery and the ways of forest people, how to survive without food or water, how to read the spoor of animals. In the afternoons, he sat in court and observed my father dispensing justice. Evenings, for a king must know how to use his leisure appropriately, he played dice with other noble-born youth, or attended quail fetes or went boating. He visited the homes of courtesans, where he partook of drink, music, dance, and other pleasures. We never discussed these visits, though sometimes I spied on him when he returned late at night, his lips reddened from alaktaka, a garland around his neck. I spent hours imagining the woman who had placed it there. But no matter how much sura he drank or lotus fiber he ate, each morning my brother was up before daybreak. What's sura and lotus fiber? We'll look up sometime. From my window, I would see him bathe, shivering in the cold water. He insisted on drawing himself from our courtyard's cistern, ignoring Dhaima's remonstrations. I would hear him chanting prayers to the sun. O great son of Kashyap, colored like the hibiscus, O light of lights, destroyer of disease and sin, I bow to you. And then, from the Manu Samhita, he who has not conquered himself, how will that king conquer enemies? Some evenings, Dri didn't go out. Instead, closeted in with one minister or another, he learned statecraft, the art of preserving a kingdom, of strengthening its borders, of allying with other rulers or subduing them without battle, of recognizing spies who may have wormed their way into the palace. He learned also the differences between righteous and unrighteous war, and when to use each. These were the lessons I most envied him. The lesson that conferred power. They were the ones I needed to know if I were to change history. So I cajoled Dri shamelessly, forcing him to share reluctant bits with me. righteous war, you fight only with men that are your equal in rank. You don't attack your enemies at night or when they are retreating or unarmed. You don't strike them back. You don't strike them on the back or below the navel. You use your celestial astras only on warriors who themselves have such weapons. What about unrighteous war? You don't need to know about that, my brother said. I have told you too much already. Why do you want all this information anyway? One day, I said, tell me about the celestial astras. I didn't think he'd agree, but he shrugged. I guess there's no harm in telling you, since you'll never have anything to do with them. They are weapons that must be invoked with special chants. They come from the gods and return to them after being used. The most powerful ones can be used only once in warrior's lifetime. Do you have an astra? Can I see it? They can't be seen, not until you've called them. And then you must use them right away. Otherwise, that power might turn against you. They say that some, like Brahmastra, wrongly used, can destroy all of the creation. In any case, I don't have any. Not yet. I had my suspicion about the existing of such astras. They sounded too much like tales old soldiers would make up to impress novices. Oh, they're real enough, he said. For instance, when Arjun captured our father, he used the Raju Astra to enclose him in an invisible net. That's the reason the Panchal forces couldn't rescue him, even though he was only a sphere's length away. But very few teachers know the art of summoning them. That's why father has decided that when the time is right, I must go to Drona in Hastinapur and ask him to accept me as a student. I stared at him in shock. Surely he was joking, but my brother never joked. Finally, I managed to say, Father has no rights to humiliate you this way. You must refuse. Besides, why would Drona agree to teach you when he knows you'll use the knowledge to try and kill him? He'll teach me, my brother said. He must have been tired, for he sounded bitter, which was rare for him. He'll teach me because he is a man of honor, and I'll go because it's the only way I can fulfill my destiny. I don't wish to imply that King Drupad neglected my education. An unending stream of women flowed through my apartments each day, attempting to instruct me in the 64 arts that noble ladies must know. I was given lessons in singing, dancing, and playing music. The lessons were painful, both for my teachers and me, for I was not musically inclined, nor deft on my feet. I was taught to draw, paint, sew, and decorate the ground with age-old auspicious designs, each meant for a special festival. My paintings were blotchy and my designs full of improvisations that my teachers frowned at. I was better at composing and solving riddles, responding to witty remarks and writing poetry, but my heart was not in such frivolities. With each lesson, I felt the world of women tightening its noose around me. I had a destiny to fulfill that was no less momentous than these. And why was no one concerned about preparing me for it? When I mentioned this to Dhaima, she clicked her tongue with impatience. Where do you get all these notions? Your destiny as important as the princess. She rubbed Brahmi oil into my scalp to cool my brain. Besides, don't you know a woman must prepare for her destiny in a different way? Dhaima herself taught me the rules of comportment, how to walk, talk, and sit in the company of men, how to do the same when only women are present, how to show respect to queens who are more important, how to subtly snub lesser princesses, how to intimidate the other wives of my husband. I don't need to learn that, I protested. My husband won't take another wife. I'll make him promise that before I marry him. Your arrogance, girl, she said, is only exceeded by your optimism. Kings always take other wives, and men always break the promises they make before marriage. Besides, if you married off like Panchal's other princesses, you wouldn't even get a chance to talk to your husband before he beds you. I drew in sharp breath to contradict her. She gave me a challenging grin. She relished our arguments, most of which she won. But this time, I didn't launch into my usual tirade. Was it a memory of Krishna, that the cool silence with which he countered disagreement, that stopped me? I saw something I hadn't realized before. Words wasted energy. I would use my strength instead to nurture my belief that my life would unfurl uniquely. Perhaps you are right, I said sweetly. Only time will tell. She scowled. It wasn't what she was expecting, but then a different kind of grin appeared on her face. Why, princess, she said, I do believe you're growing up. The day Dhaima told me I was ready to visit my father's wives to test my social skills, I was surprised by the excitement that surged through me. I hadn't realized how much I craved companionship. I had been long curious about the queens, especially Sulochana, who fitted elegant and bejeweled along the periphery of my life. Flitted, not fitted. In the past, I'd resented them for ignoring me, but I was willing to let go of that. Perhaps now I was grown. We could be friends. Surprisingly, although the queens knew I was coming, I had to wait a long time in the visitors' hall before they appeared. When they did arrive, they spoke to me stiffly, in brief inanities, and wouldn't meet my eyes. I drew on all my speaking skills, but the conversations I began soon disintegrated into silence. Even Sulochana, whose blithe grace I had so admired during the festival of Shiva, seemed a different person. She responded to my greetings in monosyllables and kept her two daughters close to her. But one of them, a charming girl of about 5 years with curly hair and her mother's shining complexion, squirmed away from Sulochana and ran to me. Her eye must have been caught by the jeweled peacock pendant I wore. I dressed with care for the visit, for she put out a finger to touch it. I lifted her onto my lap and unclasped the chain, so she could play with the pendant. But Sulochana snatched her away and slapped her so hard that red finger marks marred the child's fair cheek. She burst into bewildered tears, not knowing why she was punished. I stared at the queen in shock, my own face tingling with shame as though I were the one who'd been slapped. Soon afterward, Sulochana retired to her chambers with excuses of ill health that were clearly false. When we reached my rooms, I couldn't hold back my tears. What did I do wrong? I asked Daima as I wept against her ample bosom. You did fine. Ignorant cows, they are just scared of you. Of me? I asked, startled. I hadn't thought of myself as particularly fierce. Why? She pressed her lips together, angrier than I'd ever seen her, but she couldn't or wouldn't give me an answer. I began to notice things, though. My maidservants, even those who had been with me for years, kept their distance until summoned. If I asked them, Anything of a personal nature, how their families were, for instance, or when they were getting married, they grew tongue tied and escaped from my presence as soon as they could. The best merchants in the city, who routinely visited the apartments of the queens, would send their waves to me through Daima. Even my father was uneasy when he visited me and rarely looked directly into my eyes. I began to wonder whether Dree's tutor's nervousness at my interruptions had a less flattering cause than my beauty, and whether my lack of friends and visitors was due not to my father's strictness but to people's wariness of someone who wasn't born like a normal girl and who, if the prophecy was correct, wouldn't live a normal woman's life. Did they fear contagion? Already the world I knew was splitting in two. The larger part, by far, consisted of people like Sulochna who couldn't see beyond their little lives of mundane joys and sorrows. They suspected anything that fell outside the boundaries of custom. They could, perhaps, accept men like Dri who were divinely born to fulfill a destiny shaped by the gods. But women, especially women who might bring change, the way a storm brings the destruction of lightning, all my life they would shun me. But the next time, I promised myself as I wiped my tears, I would be prepared. The other group consisted of those rare persons who were themselves harbingers of change and death, or those who could laugh at such things. They wouldn't fear me, though I suspected they might well hate me if the need arose. So far, I knew only three such people, Dri and Krishna, and Daima transformed by her affection for me. But surely there were others as I shoved in my father's palace. I longed to find them, for only they could provide the companionship I ached for. I wondered how long I would have to wait before destiny brought them into my life, and I hoped that when it did so, one of them would become my husband. That was the completion of fourth chapter. That fourth chapter was 10 pages. Holy. Let me read the chat. Hello Lucy Dee, welcome to the stream. Kaise ho aap? Can get that cutie? You can get this cutie. I got this cutie on Instamart, I think. Very cute cutie. Chapter 5. Yes, chapter 5. Hello. Sounds of fire. Yes, this is a vibe. Hello Pookie, I am back. Moi moi. Moi moi Pookie, welcome back. How was your trip? How was traveling? I hope you reached safely and I hope both our kids. Bad? Why was it bad, Pookie? Both cuties. I need both cuties. This one and which is the second one? Because I had a headache. Oh, my poor Pookie. मैं इतना बड़बड़ कर रही हूँ ना उसमें आप सो जाओ. Use my stream as white noise if it's possible. You, Lucy, I am not a cutie. You must be mistaken. You must be mistaken by. Let me show you. I only want Teddy. Well, there is another Teddy. This is my always companion Teddy. He looks like Louis. Now I want that. This was a gift from Wish. I will go play. I want to watch while playing. Okay, Pookie. Have good games. Thank you for hydrate. Then I want wish bhaiya. No. No. No, Vivek. You can't have wish bhaiya. Sorry. कैसे हो लूसी दी? लॉन्ग टाइम नो सी. नॉट वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम. एक दो हफ्ते ही हुए हैं. एक हफ्ता हुआ होगा. लास्ट वीक नहीं मिले होंगे. अयो सिंस व्हेन वाज आई इन बिडिंग मार्केट? नहीं पुकी, आप नहीं हो. डोंट वरी. यू आर नॉट अप फॉर बिडिंग. मेरे को कोई कंफर्म करके बता सकता है? कैन यू गाइज रीड दिस और इज दिस यूजलेस? आई एम फॉर एवरीवन एंड एवरीवन इज फॉर मी. भगवान विष्णु तो यही बोलते हैं. You're going to stream at night? I will drop by Lucy B. Chichi. I'm glad I brought this teddy. Right now I will read with this teddy. It's fun to watch the book. Is it? Really? Can you read though, Pookie? Yes, you can. Yes, that is all I want. But थोड़ा blurry है ना? टू में देखने दो फिर पता चले. Okay, it's not blurry in 2K. It gets blurred sometimes. I think it gets blurred because of the changing color of this. The mic quality is fantastic. Came cho. Hi Error, welcome to the stream. Ekdam मजा में. How have you been, Error? बताओ. Thank you for the compliment, Pookie. I will get back to reading in a minute. 10 pages पढ़ लिए. एक छोटा ब्रेक चाहिए. आई थिंक आज भी 20 पेजेस ही पढ़ पाऊंगी मैं. ही वॉज सॉल्विंग 404. वाओ यार, नॉइस सप्रेशन है. मेरे स्लो क्लैप्स पकड़ नहीं रहा है माइक. नॉट गुड. व्हाट हैपेंड एरर? व्हाई नॉट गुड? मैं एकदम बढ़िया एरर. कुछ नया ट्राई कर रही हूँ, होपिंग कि ये चल जाए. मतलब चल जाए एज इन एटलीस्ट नेगेटिव रिस्पॉन्सेस ना मिले लोगों के मुझे. मेरे को टाइम नहीं मिल रहा था नॉवल पढ़ने का और स्ट्रीम करने का, तो दोनों साथ में कर दूँ. Guys, what happens if I speak into the mic? I hope किसी के कान ना फाड़े हो मैंने. बस ओके, बस कर दिया विवेक, कोई बात नहीं. बस करने बोल ही रहे हो तो बस कर दिया. सैड. I'll continue reading. ये टेडी को साइड में रख दी थी क्योंकि बीच में आ रहा है पंखे. I will continue gambling. करो. Chapter 5. Smoke. Early in my life, I learned to eavesdrop. I was driven in. आपने एक लंबा मैसेज लिखा है तो मैं पढ़ना शुरू करूँ उससे पहले ही पढ़ लेती. Bubes, welcome back salad. I forgot my password and ended up logged out of almost everything. It's been such a hectic recovery. By the way, which novel? Error pin message. मैंने पिन मैसेज में लिखा है. बट बता भी देती हूँ. द नॉवल इज पैलेस ऑफ इल्यूजन्स, written by Chitra Banerjee Diva Karuni, and this is her attempt to show Mahabharat from Draupadi's perspective, and I'm really loving it so far. मतलब 33 पेजेस पढ़े मैंने, बहुत मज़ा आया मुझे अभी तक. तो 4 चैप्टर्स हुए, दिस इज़ द 5th चैप्टर. टोटल ऑलमोस्ट 360 पेजेस की बुक है ये. पता नहीं कब ख़त्म होगी. कितनी स्ट्रीम्स लग जाएंगी. Chapter 5, Smoke. Early in my life, I learned to eavesdrop. I was driven to this ignoble practice because people seldom told me anything worth knowing. My attendants were trained to speak in elaborate flatteries. My father's wives avoided me. King Drupad only met with me in settings designed to discourage uncomfortable questions. Dri never lied, but he often kept things from me, believing it his brotherly duty to shield me from unpleasant facts. Though Daima had no such qualms. She had the unfortunate habit of mixing up what actually happened with things that, in her opinion, should have occurred. Krishna was the only one who told me the truth, but he wasn't with me often enough. So I took to eavesdropping and found it a most useful practice. It worked best when I appeared engrossed in some mindless activity such as embroidery or pretended to sleep. I was amazed at all the things I learned in this manner. It is how I discovered the sage. The Sairindri was braiding my hair in the 5 rivers design when I heard one of the maids say, in a squeaky, excited whisper, "And he promised I'll be married on the full moon day in the month of Shravan." So, Daima responded scathingly from the next room, where she was settling out my clothes. Fortune tellers are always predicting weddings. They know that's what foolish girls want to hear most. That's how they get fatter fees. No, respected aunt. This sadhu didn't take any money. Also, he didn't just make vague promises. He said, I'd marry a man who tends the king's animals. And you know Nandaram, who works in the stables? He's been courting me. Didn't I show you the silver armband he gave me last month? It's a long leap from an armband to the wedding fire, girl. Come Shravan, we'll see how accurate your holy man was. Now set out that blue silk sari carefully and watch how you handle the princess breast cloth. You are crushing it. But he told me about my past too, the maid insisted. Accidents and illness I had when I was a girl. The year my mother died and what her last words were. He even knew about the time Nand and I... Here her voice deeply dipped shyly, leaving me to guess at details. You don't say. Daima sounded intrigued. Maybe I'll go see him. Ask him if that good-for-nothing Kallu will ever change his ways, and if not, what I must do to be rid of him. What did you say the Babaji's name was? I didn't ask. Truth to tell, he scared me. With a beard that covered his whole face and glittery red eyes, he looked like he could put a curse on you if you made him angry. Princess, my Sairindri said, bowing. Your hair is done. Does it please you? I picked up the heavily silver-blacked mirror, while she held another one behind my head. The 5-stranded braid hung glossily. The 5-stranded braid hung glossily down my back. sparkling with gold pins. I could smell the fragrance of the amaranths woven into it. It was beautiful, but it only made me dissatisfied. What use was all this dressing up when there was no one to admire me? I felt as though I were drowning in a backwater pond, while everything important in the world was happening elsewhere. What if the prophecy at my birth was wrong? Or what if the prophecies only became true if you did something about them? I decided that I'd accompany Daima to the holy man. Absolutely not, Daima exclaimed. Your royal father will have my head, or at the very least, my job, if I take you outside the place. Do you want your poor old nurse to starve by the roadside in her old age? You won't starve, I said. Kallu will take care of you. Who? That no good drunkard? That. Besides, I interjected deftly. My father doesn't have to know. I'll dress up as a servant maid. We can just walk to. You! Walk on the common road where every man can look into your face? Don't you know that the women of Panchal royal family are supposed to remain hidden even from the glaze of sun? You can get me a veil. It will protect me from men and sunshine both at once. Never. I was reduced to pleading. Please, Daima, it's my only chance to know what my future holds. I can tell you what your future holds. Severe punishment from your royal father and a new Daima, since this one's life will be prematurely terminated. But because I was the closest thing she had to her daughter, or because she sensed the desperation beneath my casualry, or maybe because she too was curious, she finally relented. Swathed in one of Dhaima's veils and a skirt several sizes too large, I knelt in front of the sage, touching my head awkwardly to the ground. My entire body ached. To get to the banyan grove where the sage was residing, we'd had to ride in a palanquin through the city, then cross a lake on a leaking ferry boat, then sit for hours on a rickety bullock cart. It taught me a new respect for the hardships of commoners. I was startled by a rumble like a thundercloud. The sage was laughing. He didn't look too frightening. In his lined, cracked face, his eyes shone mischievously. Not bad for princess. How did you know? I said in chagrin. I'd have to be blind not to see through such a terrible disguise. At least the old woman could have given you some clothes that fit. But enough of that. Eager to learn your future, are you? Did you ever think how monotonous your life would be if you could see all that was coming to you? Believe me, I know. However, I'll oblige you both. In some part. You first, old woman. He informed a delighted Daima that Kallu would perish soon in a drunken brawl, that she'd accompany me to my new palace after marriage, and that she'd bring up my 5 children. You will die old and rich and cantankerous as ever, and happy because you'll be gone before the worst happens. Sadhu Baba, Daima asked in concern. What do you mean by the worst? No more, he snapped, his eyes turning tawny, making her cower. Princess, if you want your questions answered, you must step inside the circle. Sid, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the hydrate. ओह आज तो जल्दी सोना पड़ेगा. ये सुन के नींद आ रही है आपको? अभी आपने मुझे रोका ही है तो लेट मी रीड सम चैट्स. आप गैम्बल करने की ट्राई कर रहे थे. एरर. You can start your career from this. करियर की स्पेलिंग गलत है. I was 500 cookies when I started. Ooh, I remember. Yeah, don't get greedy is the key. I have seen you get greedy. Okay, Vivek. So, hello, how are you? I am good, Sid. How are you? And thank you for hydrate. All or nothing? Nice. गैम्बल पे वैसे कूल डाउन है. एरर. आई वॉज वेन जब आप 10,000 हारे थे तब थे आप. देखा था मैंने. ओके, आई विल गो बैक टू रीडिंग. आई hadn't noticed the thin circle edged into the ground around him. Daima grabbed at my skirt, whispering about witchcraft, but I didn't hesitate. Inside the circle, the earth felt wholly against my blistered soles. Brave, eh? He said. That's good. You'll need it. He threw a handful of powder onto a small fire. A thick smoke rose until I couldn't see anything outside the circle. What's that? I gasped. Curious too. His voice was approving. I made it myself from resin and neem leaves and a few other select ingredients. It kept the mosquitoes away. In the smoke, shapes, human-like yet not human, rose and fell as though caught in a wind current. What are those? To my embarrassment, my voice trembled. Ah, that's the other thing the mixture does. Call up the spirits. You may ask them your questions. Far within the banyan grove, I heard a jackal howl. Coldness passed over my skin like ghost breath. For the last few days, I had been longing for this moment. Why then did a strange reluctance silence me now? It came to me that I didn't trust the sage enough to reveal to him my secret desires. Later, I would wonder, was it because of this lack of faith that the spirits answered me so obliquely in riddles that were more hindrance than help? Scared, princess? The sage taunted. Maybe you'd better step out and run to your safe palace. No! I cried. Ask your spirits if I will get what I desire. A smile, feral or condescending, glinted through the sage's beard. And do you even know what that is, child? Stung, I retorted. I'm no child, and I do know what I want. I want to leave a mark on history as was promised to me at my birth. Very commendable. But there are other things, perhaps unknown to you, that you crave more. No matter, the spirits will see into your heart and answer accordingly. He clapped his hands and the spirits swirled faster. Yellow whispers came to me through the smoke. You will marry the 5 greatest heroes of your time. You will be the queen of queens, envied even by the goddesses. You will be a servant maid. You will be mistress of the most magical of palaces and then lose it. You will be remembered for causing the greatest war of your time. You will bring about deaths of evil kings and your children's and your brothers. 1 million women will become widows because of you. Yes, indeed, you will leave a mark on history. You will be loved, though you will not always recognize who loves you. Despite your 5 husbands, you will die alone, abandoned at the end, and yet not so. After the voices fell silent, I sat stunned. Much of what they said, the part about 5 husbands, for instance, confused me. The rest filled me with despair. Oh, don't look so dejected, the sage said. How many women can claim to be envied by goddesses or become queen of queens? I don't want them if it means the other parts will be true as well. What good is it to own the most wonderful palace in the world if I have to lose it? And if all those deaths, I refuse to be the cause of them, especially these. You don't have a choice, my dear. I'll enter a hermitage. I'll never marry. His crooked teeth flash. Destiny is strong and swift. You can't trick it so easily. Even if you hadn't come seeking in today, in time it would have found you. But in your case, your own nature is going to speed its process. What do you mean? Your pride, your temper, your vengefulness. I glared at him. I'm not like that. Even the wisest don't know what's hidden in the depths of their being. But here's something to console you. Long after you're gone, men will remember you as the most amazing queen this land has seen. Women will chant your name to bring them blessings and luck. Much good that will do to me when I'm dying alone, tortured by guilt. I said bitterly. Men might value fame above all things, but I'd rather be happy. You will have happiness too. Didn't you hear the spirit say you'll be loved? Besides, I have a feeling you'll grow to feel differently about fame. Oh, I missed. Hi, Night Bite. Welcome to the stream and thanks for the follow. Continuing the reading. He jock. यार ऐसे ऐसे वर्ड्स यूज होते हैं ना कभी कभी कि क्या बताऊं. His jocularity angered me. But I controlled myself because I needed his help. I've heard that great seers have the power to change the future. They foretell. Please, can't you shape mine so that I don't harm those dearest to me? He shook his head. Only a fool meddles in the great design. Besides, your destiny is born of lifetimes of karma, too powerful for me to change. But I'll give you some advice. 3 dangerous moments will come to you. First will be just before your wedding. At that time, hold back your question. The second will be when your husbands are at the height of their power. At that time, hold back your laughter. Third will be when you're ashamed as you'd never imagined possible. At that time, hold back your curse. Maybe it will mitigate the catastrophes to come. He poured water on the fire, extinguishing it with a hiss, a signal for me to leave. But then, glancing at my unhappy face, he said, You've borne the harshness of prophecies. Well, so I'll give you a parting gift, a name. From now on, you will be known as Panchali, spirit of this land. though in your wanderings you will leave it far behind. He turned to a thick book made of palm leaves and opened it. What are you writing? I couldn't help but ask. He ran a hand through his thick mane, exasperated. The story of your life. If only you'd stop interrupting it, and of your 5 husbands. And the great and terrible war of Kurukshetra that will end the 3rd age of man. Already you have kept me from it for too long. Go now. Oh, so I think कि ये सेज ये वेद व्यास थे क्योंकि उन्होंने ही महाभारत लिखी थी. तो द्रौपदी वेद व्यास के पास गई थी अपना फ्यूचर सुनने के लिए. दैट्स इंटरेस्टिंग. Okay, let me take a small break and read the chats. आप हर जगह कूल डाउन लगा देते हो. Error, don't listen her, listen me. I will make you cookie king. Yes master. अरे भाई इतना easy है error आपको manipulate करना. After 3 minute gamble 400. Keep chatting. Okay, do you have any strat? No, my friend. Sorry. You gambled 20k points, my friend. Let's go. She limit the gamble by 10,000. She limits everything, bro. Guys, I have to limit the gamble. Why do you have to limit everything? Error. Everything is good, but only in limits, okay? Anything that is going beyond limits is never good. Never. You alive? Oh, you're replying to Wish. Thank you for giving Sid a shout out. Dookie, how are you? Long time no see. Surviving. Prep for exam. All the best salad for your exams. कल ही तो मिले थे. You change your name? नहीं विवेक, उसका नेम सैलड डूकी ही है बहुत टाइम से. See again limits. अब किस चीज के लिमिट्स विवेक? गैम्बल 600 उसने 4 बोला था बट ठीक है देखते हैं. You lost it. You lost it. एक बार मैं भी गैम्बल ऑल कर देती हूँ. कैन आई सी द सेकेंड टेडी? सेकेंड टेडी को मैंने थोड़ा पीछे रख दिया है. I lost all my stolen cookies. Here you go. It has a very cute bow. Star bow. See, this is why we should never gamble. Exactly, Vivek. You're so smart. So smart. Cutie Teddy. Thank you. Oh, that was a gift from Wish to me, by the way. Okay, continuing my reading. Done so quickly, Dhaima asked. He didn't have much to tell you, did he? What do you mean? Why, you barely stepped in, then stepped out. I'm glad though. She dropped her voice as she pulled me toward the waiting cart. These sages, with their sorcery, you never know what they might do to a young virgin. Inside the sage's circle, had time taken a different gate? I climbed onto the cart, too preoccupied to feel its jolts. I peered through the shadows of the banyan one last time. The gloomy light played tricks on me. It seemed that there were two figures sitting inside the circle. One of them was the sage. The other, why, he appeared to have an elephant's head. Oh, Ganesha! The cart lurched away before I could point out to my nose. What did he say? Dhaima was all curiosity. Nothing bad, I hope. You look so solemn. I knew this heat would be too much for you. Remind me to get you some green coconut water when we go through the bazaar. नाइट बाइट गैम्बल जो है वो यूट्यूब चैट पर है. मैंने ट्विच पर उसको एनेबल नहीं किया है. आई थिंक या तो नहीं. आई थिंक यू कैन गैम्बल ऑन ट्विच टू बट मिनिमम वैल्यू इज 10. Okay, good night. Bye bye. Bye bye, Error. Good night. Thank you for being here. What about white one? This you can get yourself, honestly, Vivek. So cute this is. I pondered what to tell her. He prophesied that I'd have 5 husbands, I said finally. 5 husbands? She slapped her forehead in disgust. Now I know he's fake. Why, in all my years, I never heard of a woman with more than one husband. You know what our Shastras call with more than call women who have been with more than one man, don't you? Though no one seems to have a problem when men sleep with different wife each day of the week. Can you see your royal father, proper as he is, ever allowing something scandalous like that? I hoped she was right. If that part didn't come true, then perhaps the others would either. Dhaima heaved a sigh. He probably made up the bit about Kallu dying too. I'll probably be the one to perish first. The way that man tortures me day and night. What a waste of time this was. Oh, my aching back. Wait till we get back to the palace. I'll give that maid a box on her ear that she won't forget for the rest of her life. Each night, I thought of my name. Already I'd insisted that everyone address me by it. Princess Panchali. A name strong like the land. A name that knew how to endure. It was what I'd been waiting for. No matter what else came to pass, I would always thank the sage for giving it to me. I thought also of the palace the spirits had promised me. Most magical, they'd call it. I wondered how I would ever gain such a palace. I didn't want to contemplate the other prophecies. They were too disheartening. But they knocked against my heart. I understood. Suddenly, the unspoken questions the spirits had answered. Who would I marry? Would I ever be mistress of my own home? Would I find love? Were these kinds of desires hidden in my heart? How puerile they were. Things my maids might have wanted. When I was no better than women who surrounded me, wrapped in the cocoons of their unimaginative lives, not even knowing enough to want to escape. It was a mortifying thought. Other nights, I considered the mystery of the book the sage showed me, the story of my life. How could such a book be written before I'd lived the incidents it described? Did this mean that I had no control over what was to happen? Surely it wasn't so. Otherwise, why did he take the trouble to warn me? I didn't speak to the sage again for many years, though I heard of him from time to time. I learned his name, Vyas, the compendious, because of the many hefty books he'd written. Vyas, the seer, born on a dark island of a union between an ecstatic and a fisher princess. On my wedding day, I would see him in the marriage hall, seated on my father's right, his placement revealing an importance I hadn't guessed at. He'd gazed at me, blinking mildly, as though he'd never seen me before. When I'd make my first great mistake, his expression would remain unchanged, so that I wouldn't realize the enormity of what I've done until it was too late. Later, among my wedding gifts, I'd find a wooden box. When I opened it, a familiar smell, wild and bitter, would rise from the powder inside. I'd used it. I'd use it in Khandav and later in Kamyak forest. Thrown on fire and it warded away insects, just as he promised, and nightmares as well. On those nights, my rough bark bed seemed softer. But no matter how much I called for them, for by now I had other wiser questions, the spirits did not return to me again. That was the end of chapter 5. And I will take a 2-minute tiny break and drink some water. We have completed 43 pages. That's 20 pages today. I think I will read one more chapter at least. कितना लंबा है ये चैप्टर, ये देखने दो पहले. 52. I think it's doable. Gamble does, it should work. विवेक ट्राई करो 10 से ज़्यादा का अमाउंट डालना, क्योंकि मिनिमम 10 है. मैं 10 से कम कर नहीं पा रही थी उसको. देखो, there is gamble here. You didn't know it? Now you know. थोड़ा एक आध मिनट वॉक करके आती हूँ, तब तक ASMR सुनो. I'm back. Hell yeah, novel camp. Hi Vexy, welcome to the stream. Yes, after yesterday's experience, are the boats sound real or a video? They are ASMR audio. They are not real. They are not happening behind me. Don't be sad. All of this, technically, none of this is real. This is a cat lamp, not very real. This is a candle, again, not very real. But there is this thing which keeps on moving as a goal. So when I keep it like this, because of the fan, it moves as if तो जो ज्योत होती है ना कैंडल की, वो जैसे मूव करती है वैसे it moves. It feels like it's kind of a real candle. Nah, bro, because my cousins have 15 birds in 2 cages. Damn. And they love to chirp on 24/7. It feels like walking in a park. Yeah, the candle is very cool. Dangerous to have near a book. That's a fake candle. Vexiron. If it was real. True. Very true. Um, I think your cousin has like he has a gifted daily ASMR. It feels like they're kept in prison. Who is kept in prison? Should I keep this cat का one single color? विवेक, आप एक कलर चूज करो, वो एक कलर रखूंगी मैं इस कैट का, क्योंकि ये चेंज हो रहा है ना, तो वो कैमरा का फोकस भी अकॉर्डिंगली चेंज कर रहा है. No, they got plenty of space. The birds are tiny and the cages are huge. Also, they are let out on alternate days. Pink? You mean red because there is no color as pink. This is red, by the way. But it kind of looks like pink because the lamp is white. But they are in cage after all. Something warm color. Is this not warm? I think this is pretty warm. I also like this color. Try blue. This is green. This is blue. This is yellow. This is light blue. That was dark blue. This is light blue. This is purple. But it also looks like pink. And this is red again. This one was good. Yellow. I think red or yellow fine. Yellow rakho. This is a bright lamp. This kind of over, इसकी वजह से मेरा कैम भी फ्लिकर हो रहा है. I will keep simple yellow. Okay. मैं बार बार भूल जाती हूँ कि I cannot sit this far from the table. Bright lamp, darkens cam. Yes, very true. और मेरा कैम फ्लिकर भी कर रहा था पहले तो, लाइक जो ब्राइटेस्ट येलो था उसमें. एंड दिस इज़ वेरी, मतलब मैं जब ये सेटअप कर रही थी ना, तभी इसको गलती से टच हो जा रहा था, कलर चेंज हो जा रहा था. इट वॉज सो इरिटेटिंग बीच में एक पॉइंट पे, देन आई छोड़ दिया मैंने. अभी इट्स नॉट चेंजिंग कलर दैट मच. आसानी से नहीं चेंज कर रहा। पहले तो इतने टैप में भी चेंज कर लेता था। बेड टेबल, नो दिस इज माई कंप्यूटर टेबल, दिस इज वेयर आई सिट इन स्ट्रीम एवरी डे। ये बुक है, इसकी जगह पर मेरा माउस और कीबोर्ड होता है। हियर इज माई माउस जो यहीं कहीं पर घूम रहा होता है, एंड थोड़ा सा इस साइड होता है, यहाँ कहीं पर होता है माई कीबोर्ड। You have a proper book holder? Yeah, this is a book holder. दिस इज़ अ बुक होल्डर। मैंने इसको अलग तरीके से रखा है ताकि आप लोग ये बुक देख पाओ, लाइक ये कैम अच्छे से पकड़ पाए ये बुक। बट दिस इज नॉट द ओरिजिनल वे दिस बुक होल्डर इज डिजाइंड टू बी यूज्ड, जस्ट सेइंग। मैंने ये आज सुबह ही ऑर्डर किया अमेजोन पर एंड इट गॉट डिलीवर्ड टुडे, शाम को ही। ऑफिस जाने से पहले ऑर्डर किया और शाम को वापस आई तब हो गया। जुगाड़ चलता। यस, इट इज़ कीपिंग माई बुक स्ट्रेट, इट इज़ कीपिंग इन माई बुक के पेजेस फ्लाई होने से रोक रहा है। प्राइम के फायदे, यस वेक्सिरॉन। प्लस एक सिटी लाइक अहमदाबाद में रहने के भी फायदे। आपके पास प्राइम हो लेकिन आप इतने लाइक बड़े ऐसे सिटी में नहीं रहते हो तो सेम डे डिलीवरी कभी नहीं होता है। लाइक मेरे पेरेंट्स थोड़े रिलेटिवली छोटे सिटी में रहते हैं, कभी सेम डे डिलीवरी नहीं होता है, अर्लीएस्ट नेक्स्ट डे होता है। से हमने 5 चैप्टर कंप्लीट कर दिए हैं, 11 बज चुके। 11 मेक अ विश। अभी 6ठा चैप्टर स्टार्ट करना है और मैं आज 6 चैप्टर्स कंप्लीट करके सोऊंगी, बिकॉज I am a woman of culture. I don't leave books that easily. हम 43 पेजेस कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं। There are 360 pages. Holy! Can you see my shadow when I move? हम तो पैसे बचाते हैं। ठीक है वेक्सिरॉन, ठीक है। Fun fact, I was studying chemistry and tomorrow I have my exam. I still should be studying. First of all the best Vexiron. फोड़ कर आना पेपर, एकदम तोड़ फोड़ कर आना. Second of all, it's fine. You can take little breaks पढ़ाई के बीच में and you will complete पढ़ाई eventually. इफ़ यू वांट मैं आपको ये ऑडियो का लिंक देती हूँ या मैं वेबसाइट बताती हूँ मैंने जहाँ से निकाला है ये। आप ASMR बैकग्राउंड में रख के पढ़ाई करने की कोशिश करो इफ़ दैट हेल्प्स, और यू कैन गो टू एनी यूट्यूब वीडियो, जस्ट सेइंग। क्योंकि मैं यहाँ पर बकबक करूँगी, इट माइट बॉदर यू वाइल स्टडिंग, तो आई वुडंट सजेस्ट। अगर सोना हो तो मैं बोलूँगी कि हाँ इधर रहो, यू माइट ट्राई एंड फॉल asleep. ऑल्सो दिस वॉट यू सी इज़ माई मॉनिटर एंड यहाँ पर चैट भी है, बस कैमरा कैप्चर नहीं कर पा रहा है। एंड दिस इज़ नॉट माई प्राइमरी मॉनिटर, दिस इज़ माई सेकेंडरी मॉनिटर। सेकेंडरी। आई एम हियर टू प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट माई गाय। ओके, फुल सपोर्ट इन प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन, बट ज़्यादा देर तक डोंट गिव एक्सक्यूजेस, गो स्टडी, दैट इज़ द ट्रिक। नॉट एवरी वन इज़ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग हार्टेड विवेक, आई पर्सनली एम नॉट। ये करने से नहीं होता है ऑनेस्टली। मेरे को थोड़ी डांट लगाए विष्णु तो मैं कर लेती हूँ। वेक्सिरॉन, डू यू नीड टू बी स्कोल्डेड? आई कैन डू दैट, जस्ट सेइंग। ना तो जाओ ना, पढ़ाई करो ना, इधर क्या बैठे हो? शर्म नहीं आ रही आपकी? कल एग्जाम है। You'll pass. All you want is passing marks, Vexiron. I am so disappointed in you. You are my viewer. भाई मेरे viewers topper है सारे। Half yearly only कोई भी एग्जाम हो Vexiron. Study is study and can only be completed by studying. Truer words have never been spoken, Vivek. Truer words have never been spoken. अरे क्लास में 13 बच्चे हैं, उनमें टॉप कर लूँगा, डोंट वरी। तेरा बच्चों में नहीं, हर जगह टॉप होना चाहिए. Quote of the day. Indeed, indeed. I'm proud of you, but your parents should be too. I'm not proud of you. You just want to pass, Vexiron. I am disappointed, honestly. I'll study. जाओ करो पढ़ाई. What is this behavior? I don't just want to pass. तो जाओ करो पढ़ाई. I know I'll pass. Is that enough, Vexiron? Is that enough? Really? Knowing that you will pass, is that enough? Go study. Good. I'll continue reading next chapter. Look, thank you for the look. Sorry अगर ज़्यादा बोल दिया हो तो. Chapter 6 Incarnations. The palace was in turmoil because Shikhandi. I thought her name was Shikhandi. Shikhandi had returned. My maids gathered in corners and corridors, whispering fervently, but they scattered like sparrows when I approached them. Dri was shut up in council with our father, so I had no way of asking him. And Daima, when she finally appeared, wringing her hands, was so distraught that I could hardly get any sense out of her. But why? Who is Shikhandi, and why is everyone so afraid of her? She is, I don't know how to say it, your royal father's eldest daughter. Then she did something terrible and King Drupad sent her away. Now she's returned. They say for the last 12 years she's been in a forest somewhere, performing the strictest austerities, eating only leaves of the holy bell tree, standing neck deep in freezing water all winter. That kind of thing. So that now she's been turned into great and dangerous warrior. I was intrigued by this sister whose existence had been hidden so successfully. What else, I would wonder later, they had been keeping from me. I'd never met a woman who was dangerous warrior. I'd like to go see her, I said. Well, I guess that's a good thing, Daima muttered, because Shikhandi wants to see you too. This afternoon, in fact. Only she isn't really a woman anymore. Do you mean she no longer behaves like one? I asked. Daima had a lengthy compendium of rules as to how women should behave. For years, she tried to din them into my head. Already I felt sympathy for the unknown Shikhandi. But Daima sped off, with more hand-wringing to ensure that the noon meal befitted the dignity of a great and dangerous warrior. She paused only to inform me that Dri, who actually ate with me, would not be here because Shikhandi had expressed a desire to speak with me alone. I waited with some excitement to view my sudden found sister. I wondered what she looked like. Was her body hard and muscular, her arms scarred from weapons? Or was it her heart that had changed so that it no longer shook at the thought of killing? How had she survived in the forest? For she must have been just a girl when she left. What terrible crime could she have committed for our father to banish her at that tender age? And why did she want to speak with me alone? Perhaps finally I'd have in her what I'd so longed for. A friend with whom to whisper and laugh about silly things, to exchange ornaments and confidences, to tell my secrets, even that of the spirit's prophecy, which I held inside me like a dark jagged rock. Shikhandi walked with a panther grace, light and assured on the balls of his feet. Yes, His. What I interpreted as Dhaima's expression of disapproval was the literal truth. Shikhandi, who was born a woman, was now a man. Clearly, he wished there to be no misunderstanding about this. He was clothed only in a white cotton dhoti. His wiry upper body bare, his nipples flat and burnished as copper coins. He carried a bow which he leaned against the wall before approaching me. His cheekbones were like knives. His almond shaped eyes gave him a foreignness that was not unattractive. Around his neck hung a garland of white lotuses. Silently, he put out his hands to touch my cheeks. I hesitated. He was a stranger after all, but then I allowed it. His fingers were slim like a woman's and calloused from stringing a bow. A shiver went through me as they grazed my face. I noticed that we were the same height, and somehow this consoled me for the loss of the sister he was supposed to be. He smiled past the shadows in his almond eyes. He stood on tiptoe to kiss my forehead. Little sister, he said, I thank you from the depth of my soul for what you will do to me. Shikhandi stayed with me for a day and a night, and in that time he told me his story. He said, have you heard the fable of the donkey that wrapped himself in a lion's hide so the other animals would fear him? Or of the wolf that hid under sheepskin so that he could mingle undetected with his prey? I feel like both sometimes, a fake or a hidden menace. No, I didn't pray to the gods to be changed. I had lost faith in them a long time ago. This time, I invoked the Yaksha. He appeared in the sky with his burning demon sword. When he heard what I wanted, he laughed and plunged it into me. The pain was unbearable. I fainted. When I awoke, I was a man. And yet, not completely so. For though my form was changed, inside me I remembered how women thought and what they longed for. I had to be a man because only a man can do what I must accomplish. Kill the greatest warrior of our time. Yes, someone greater even than Drone. His name is Bhishma the Terrible. Mahamahim Bhishma, I think. He is guardian of Hastinapur and grand uncle to that Prince Arjun who defeated our father and Drone's friend. Tangle indeed is the web of this world. This garland, you've noticed, it doesn't fade. I've worn it for 12 years now. I was 6 when I found it hanging on the palace gate and placed it around my neck. Our father cried, "What have you done, you foolish unlucky girl?" But I hadn't taken it in childish fancy, as he supposed, and nothing he did would make me put it back. Finally, he banished me so that ill luck rising from my action wouldn't haunt his house. Oh, he and I are father and child indeed. We both live for vengeance. When I wore the garland, my previous life, which I had remembered only in glimpses, fell upon me like a flood. First, I remembered my death upon a pry. Flesh melting, eyelids burnt away, the skull bursting, and through it all, my impatience to be gone. Because without death, there is no rebirth. And without rebirth, I could not kill Bhishma. The god Shiv himself had promised me that in my next life I would kill him, whom no man had defeated before. My name? In that body, I was Amba, princess of Kashi, the rejected one. Very well, the story from the beginning then. We three sisters, princesses of Kashi, were to marry. My father arranged a swayamvar inviting all the kings of the land so that we would choose our husbands. I already knew the man I wanted, King Salv, who had wooed me for a year. The garland for Salva was in my hands when Bhishma descended on us like a plague. He forced the three of us onto his chariot and took us, terrified, to Hastinapur to marry his younger brother. When I had recovered wits and breath, I told him, I love Salva. I can't marry your brother. The brother said, a woman who had embraced another in her heart is not chaste. I do not wish to marry her. Bhishma said, very well, I will send you back to Salva. But when I went to him, Salva said, Bhishma had taken you by the hand. You have been contaminated by his touch. You belong to him now. I said, if someone grasps my hand against my will, how does that make me his? I said, I am the one who decides to whom I belong. In the sandalwood days of love, I thought that if I could not have Salve, I would die. Now, I discovered that a woman's life is tougher than a banyan root which exists without soil or water. For Salve forced me to return to Bhishma and still I lived. I told Bhishma, my happiness had crumbled into dust because of you. Marry me so that at least my honor can be saved. Bhishma said, forgive me. In youth, I promised my father I would never marry. I cannot go back on my word. I said, what is a dead vow compared to a living woman's ruin? He didn't answer. When I looked on his serene face, hatred filled me with his black haze. More hatred than I'd ever thought I could feel. Abandoned and shamed, I went from court to court seeking a champion who would battle Bhishma, but all were afraid of him. I went to the Himalayas in my despair and performed austerities so that the gods would help me. Years passed, my youth fell away. The gods were reluctant to interfere because Bhishma was the son of Ganga, the goddess of the sacred river. Finally, the child god Kartikeya took pity and appeared before me with this garland. He said, if you can find someone to wear it, he will defeat Bhishma. My hopes rekindled. I went back to the kings with the everlasting garland, but the cowards, in spite of God's assurance, they were still afraid. Even King Drupad, known at that time as a champion of the weak, dared not to accept it. In disgust, I flung it on his palace gate and went to my death. The humor of the gods is cruel, or perhaps they see more than we do. I was reborn as Drupad's daughter. The moment I set eyes on the garland that never fades, my past returned to me, and with it, my rage. I took the garland for myself, determined to do so, to do on my own what no man dared do for me. Remember that, little sister. Wait for a man to avenge your honor and you will wait forever. I'll take a little break. Hi Margi, welcome to the stream. Kimcho, how is everything going? Long time no see. Must. Do you like this new setup? This is the setup जिन्हें बात करती थी in the chat. Because when I was streaming yesterday, તો some people told me કે કંઈક અમે પણ સાથે વાંચી શકીએ એવું હોય તો મજા આવે. તો મેં કીધું ચલો એવું ટ્રાય કરીએ. યસ, ઓલ હાર્ટ્સ, થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. ઓ ગોટ ઇટ. યસ, કારણ કે કેવું હતું કે વેન આઈ વોઝ રીડિંગ સમવન વોઝ લાઈક કે કાંઈ સમજાણું નહીં બિકોઝ યુ રેડ ઇટ સો ફાસ્ટ. And I am like, I tried slowing my speed yesterday because of that. And today also I tried slowing my speed relatively. But, well, now people have the book to see. Hi, Sapash. Welcome to the stream. What, the reading stream? Yes, Sapash. Reading stream. Do you like it? Are you enjoying it? Oh, you just joined. You have to hear it to figure out whether you like it or not. I have, I think, 4 pages left to complete this chapter. Yup. And I will end the stream after that. Looks good for now. Oh, does it? Do you like this setup? This cute catto? Who I can actually, pet. I should allow a redeem of pet the cat. Yes, thank you. Good and chill. Thank you. You're here for the cat. Aww. Okay, I'll get back to reading because I still have 4 pages, almost 3 pages to complete. Later, I asked Krishna what Shikhandi said about his past life. Was it really true? Krishna shrugged. He believes it to be so. Isn't that what truth is? The force of a person's believing seeps into those around him, into the very earth and air and water, until there's nothing else. Oh, it was hard to get a direct answer from Krishna. Could he really have been Amba in previous incarnation? I persisted. Or did he, through some strange empathy, feel her sorrow so deeply that he resolved to avenge her? We all have past lives, Krishna said, though that wasn't what I'd ask. Highly evolved beings remember them while lesser souls forget. No doubt you remember yours. I do. Once I was a fish. I saved mankind from the great flood. Once I was a boar. I lifted the earth out of the primordial waters with my tusks. Once a giant tortoise. Wait, I interrupted. Those are the incarnations of Vishnu. I read about them in the Purans. He lifted his shoulders and spread his hands. There is no fooling you, Krishna. In you, I've met my match. I eyed him with suspicion. I never could tell when he was joking. Then he said, I remember your last life too. I tried to feign indifference, but I couldn't keep it up. Tell me, I cried. You were just as impatient then. In meditation, you invoked Shiva. He came and stood in front of you, silent and blue as moonlight. You asked for a wish to be granted. He smiled. You asked for it again and again. 5 times you made your wish before he had the chance to say yes. Therefore, in this life, you will have what you wanted 5 times over. 5! The word beat upon my heart. The warnings of the sage, which I'd managed to push to the back of my mind over the last months, stung me again like poison weed. What was my wish? I asked, my throat dry. Haven't you had enough of prophecies yet? Krishna said. His eyes, bright with amusement, were like black bees. King Drupad had invited Shikhandi to stay with him, but Shikhandi politely excused himself. Drupad tried unsuccessfully to disguise his relief at this. However, when Shikhandi said that he would like to stay with my brother and me instead, I sensed our father's uneasiness. Perhaps he was worried that Shikhandi would be corrupting influence, but I was delighted. Something about Shikhandi drew me to him. Was it his easy acceptance of me? His own unusual life? He bore his destiny so casually, it made me worry less about Rishidium's reason minds. He made me realize the existence of possibility I hadn't dreamed of. We whiled away his short visit in evening and storytelling and playing at dice, for Dri had taught me this most unladylike pastime. We laughed a great deal, often at the littlest things. I composed poems and riddles to entertain my brothers and watched as they practiced with swords. Dri bested Shikhandi easily, then asked with concern, "How are you going to defeat Bhishma?" "I don't have to defeat him," Shikhandi said. "I just have to kill him." Reluctant to let him leave my life, I tried to tempt Shikhandi to remain longer. Was it because one day, if the prophecy about my husbands were true, I too would cross the bounds of what was allowed to women? I promised to write a poem in his praise, to let him win at dice, to have Dhaima cook his favorite fish curry. Dri offered to teach him the newest wrestling holds. Shikhandi shook his head and his eyes regretful. "Thank you for making me so welcome," he said. "All my life people have been glad to see me leave." Dri gave me his favorite horse and the best spear in the armory. I gave him sweet laddus to eat on the way and a yak hair shawl against the approaching winter. In its folds, I had secreted gold coins. I imagined his face when he'd discover them on a cold and hungry day in an unfriendly town. But he would take nothing. To start my penance, he explained, "I must travel light, living off only what the land yields." "Penance," I cried. "For what? It's others who should be doing penance for all the ways in which they've let you down. To kill the greatest warrior of one's time is a terrible deed." He said, "No matter what the cause, it weakens the foundation of society. It's worse when it's done through trickery. And that's what I'll have to resort to, because certainly I don't have the skills to achieve to otherwise. I'm attorning for it in advance, as it's very likely that I too will die in the process." Under the shadow of the palace gates, Dri said, "Brother, you have been both woman and man. You must know secrets that others don't. Share some of your wisdom with us." Shikhandi's lips twisted in a bitter smile. "Yes, I've learned a few things along the way. Though now that I'm neither man nor woman, they can't do me any good. But here's one that may be of use to you. The power of a man is like a bull's charge, while the power of a woman moves aslant like a serpent seeking its prey. Know the particular properties of your power. Unless you use it correctly, it won't get you where you want." His words perplexed me. Wasn't power singular and simple? In the world that I knew, men just happened to have more of it. I hoped to change this. I would have to ponder Shikhandi's words, but I had something else to ask before he left. I grasped his hands one last time, feeling those calluses. I tried to soften them with paste, but he'd stopped me. "What's the use?" he'd said. "I'll just have to grow myself some more." When we first met, I asked, "Why did you thank me?" "I thanked you because you will help me fulfill my destiny." "How?" "You will bring about the great war where I will meet Bhishma and kill him." His face darkened. "But I should have begged your pardon instead for all the humiliation you will suffer before the war and all the sorrow afterwards. And much of this you will endure, sister, because your destiny is linked with mine." And that was the end of the sixth chapter. And I'll take another small break. Hi Shraddha, welcome to the stream. This is gonna be my nighttime routine. That means a lot to me, Shraddha. Thank you so much. Are you enjoying this new setup? This one. Fair. Welcome back, Pookie. How are your games going? Hi, hi, hi. Today I'm not as tired as I was yesterday. जबकि कल मैंने आज मैंने लंबी स्ट्रीम की है कल से so far. Think I will end my stream here क्योंकि 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 एक और चैप्टर शुरू करूंगी. पहले देखने दो कितने पेजेस का है. This is actually not very bada. I can finish it by 12. One more chapter, guys. Should I or do we stop here? क्या बोलते हो? क्या बोलते हो चैट? इतनी पीछे आ गई थी बुक. I think nobody is there to listen to the next chapter. So that's my cue to end my stream. Let me see कौन stream कर रहा है Twitch पे. And let me read. इसे रीड किया जाए. I think we should read Ari Chechi. I don't remember reading her before. Exclamation rate. Exclamation subread. If there are somehow people in the chat जो ये copy paste कर पाए. Copy or read messages. अभी कल स्ट्रीम नहीं होगी, परसों स्ट्रीम नहीं होगी, संडे भी स्ट्रीम नहीं होगी. नेक्स्ट स्ट्रीम विल बी मंडे and it might be a gaming stream, it might be a novel reading stream depending on मेरा जो mood है. But I will not read this novel अकेले आगे, that is for sure. तो अगर मेरे को मन कर रहा है कि बुक पढूं मैं, तो I will read some other novel. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for supporting this experiment so far. I am really feeling like it's going pretty well so far. Only time will tell कि ये कैसा निकलेगा at the end. Probably at the end of this book, I might figure it out. Not. Okay, you are still here. And I shall end my stream now. I will see you guys on Monday. Bye bye. Take care. Feed you? Hello? Excuse me? आप DM में आओ. मैं देखती हूँ ये क्या क्या अश्लील बातें कर रहे हैं स्ट्रीम पे. Reviewers are ready to rate. Let's go. I'll take up सबका leave. Alvida guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. Ta-ta. Bye-bye. Aujo.
ख्वाहिशों का सिलसिला दफना के जाएगा कहाँ, बन गया बहरूपिया, उजड़ गया सपनों का ठिकाना. मंजिल की रोशनी को अंधेरों से ढकता तू जाए, इस दिल के बचपने को नफरत की चिंगारी लगाए. जल गए यादों के मंजर सारों के, जल गए इस जहां में खो गए.